Hello, my name is Melanie Wesley, and welcome to the Salon Social Podcast. This is the Client's Corner. In this series, we dive deep into the candid conversations with clients to empower beauty professionals to elevate their services and create unforgettable client experiences. In the beauty industry, a customer's perception is our reality, and who better to share their insights than the clients themselves? Our mission here is to shine a light on what clients truly value, equipping you with the knowledge to enhance your offerings and positively impact your bottom line. Together, we'll help beauty professionals unlock their full potential, one transformative experience at a time. Get ready to listen, learn, and elevate your craft. Thank you for lending me your ear. Until next time, be good, be true, be you. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Melanie Wesley. Welcome to the Salon Social Podcast. This is the Client's Corner. As promised, I wanted to get the client's perspective on what it is that they expect from the service industry, from the beauty industry when it comes to paying for a service. And today we are joined by Kim. Kim, welcome to the Salon Social Podcast. Good. How are you?
I'm good.
When I started off on this journey, I thought it was really important to get the perspective of the client because after all, you guys are the ones paying for the service, and who better to hear it from but from the client, because we need to understand what it is that the clients want, what they need, and what they value when they're paying money for a service. And so I thought it was really important to include clients in this conversation. And so thank you so much again for taking the time to join me on the podcast. And
You're
so
welcome.
really, I just wanted to get your stories, your candid stories of times that you visited a salon or any kind of service industry, like whether it be a spa or a massage, anything like that, where you have to pay for a service. If there's any stories you want to tell us, good or bad, about your experience. And so the mic is off to you, Kim.
I actually have had some bad experiences. As you can see, my hair is naturally curly. So sometimes I feel people are not as intent when it comes to naturally curly hair because you can just put like a little product and a little water on it and then it's going to curl up. So I did have an experience where I was looking for a new salon. I had kind of tried a couple of different salons. I was kind of nervous because I knew that people sometimes like do the very bare minimum and it does not last. And one thing I will say is that I'm particular about who I let touch my hair. You know, I do my research, I look at different pictures and things like that before I make a decision. So I looked at this salon on Instagram. They seemed like they were pretty good. So I made an appointment. One of the key things when I made the appointment was when I got to the salon, the person that was supposed to be doing my hair was not there. So I booked my appointment online with one person, and when I got to the salon, that person was not there. So that in itself, timeliness, especially when I'm running on a tight schedule, is very important to me. So
Yeah.
if you book me for an appointment during this time, I'm okay if there's something that comes up, it runs a little late or we start a little late, but just keep communication with me.
Yeah, so they didn't communicate that the stylist you booked with wasn't available and they were going to pass you on to someone else. Did they
No,
reach out to you beforehand to let you know that?
no, they
Oh,
did not.
that,
So
that
they
would have been
gave,
an important step, I would assume, because you're going there with like you said, you'd done your own research and you saw this particular stylist's work, and so you were expecting to be seen by her, but then they did like a switcheroo on you when you
yeah,
got there. And it was just like, wait a minute, this is not who I had been following. This is not whose work I was admiring, and this is not who I was expecting to do my hair. That's not cool. But anyway, yeah. So go on. So when you got there, you realized it was someone else.
yes, so I waited and then someone finally came in. So the next person that came in was the person that ended up doing my hair. She took me over to do the shampoo. And when she took me over to do the shampoo, like as you can see, I wear glasses. So
Yeah.
she didn't even ask me to like remove my glasses, anything like that. She just like started like the process of shampooing my hair. And I felt like when she first, like when I immediately laid down for her to shampoo it, I was up. She was finished.
So she didn't even
it was
take any time really to do the shampoo. Was it less
no,
than 5? Was it like less than a minute? Less than 2 minutes? Like how long
it
do
was
you think it
it was
lasted?
about 2 to 3 minutes, possibly somewhere like that.
Okay.
Like did like a good one time, rinse that out, and she's like, "Okay." She tapped me on the shoulder. She was like, "Okay, we can now
With your
move back to the
glasses still
scene."
on your face.
Yes, with my glasses still on, water still all over my
I'm
face.
laughing because I know we've kind of touched on this already. Like before, you kind of told me a little bit about this thing, but I just think that is the funniest thing. They never took the glasses off to wash your hair.
Not
Okay,
at all. So we moved to the
continue.
chair. I don't really know. Again, my hair is naturally curly, so I don't really know what type of process that she took to. She didn't ask me because I have a taper cut, of course, as you can see. She didn't ask me like, "Do you want a shape up of your cut?" Anything like that. She just mainly focused on the longer part of my hair
Mm,
and did some type of technique on the longer part of the hair, and then she stuck me under the dryer.
I see.
It wasn't personable at all. I'm a
Yeah,
very friendly person, so I talk to anyone,
yeah,
but we never engaged in any conversation, anything like that, that made me feel welcome. I
yeah,
think one of the biggest things about being in a salon or letting someone do your hair is feeling welcome, like feeling like you
yeah,
value my business.
yeah.
Like I could have gone to so many different salons here in Atlanta, but I chose to go to your salon. So I think one of the most personable things for me is to feel like you value that I chose to come to your salon.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that because, like you said, a place like Atlanta has so many stylists. Like from natural, all people with all different kinds of like specialties, natural hair, pressing, locks, like you name it, like whatever you want, you can find. So like, yes, when a new client especially comes to you, you want to make that client feel welcome. You want to make them feel special because it is a privilege for them to sit in your chair because they could have gone to anywhere to do it. And it's not like, you know, you or the client isn't paying for the service, you're paying for something. So the least they can do is act a little bit more appreciative of that opportunity. I'm not saying, kiss anybody's butt or anything like that. I
Mhm.
mean, you got to take each person as they come because not all clients are, welcoming and nice and all of those things. But you got to kind of feel people's personality. And so if you find yourself with a person who's chipper and wants to talk, then you got to carry on that conversation too. You can't just sit there and be quiet. It's really makes it a very awkward
Mhm.
appointment, honestly.
It
But most
does.
importantly, was there ever a consultation before your appointment with this salon? Did they ever there was no see, that's where consultations come in handy because if they had a consultation, because from what I understand, you said it was a new appointment, right? Like this was your first time going there. Like that's why consultations are so important because they could have sat you down before you even made the appointment for the service and like talked about those things. What are your expectations with when it comes to your hair? What are you looking for? And that would have been when they would have found out that yes, she does need a little bit more attention to the shorter parts of her hair. And she does want the whole style, including the taper addressed and not just the loose top part of her hair, because those are what consultations are for. You kind of get to know the client a little bit. It's kind of like you can look at it as like a mini interview, like get to know the client gets to know the stylist, expectations are put out on the table. And that way, when they come back for the service, whether it be another day or right after the consultation, like you know what you're doing. They know what to expect. And then that leaves out any kind of misunderstanding for the client to leave unhappy. And in your case, it wasn't up to par. The service wasn't up to par. So it's really important, I think, as stylists, especially with new clients, to incorporate a consultation before their appointment. I was recently listening to another podcast with a hairstylist, and she was talking about they do consultations with new people and existing clients every time before the appointment. Because even with an existing client, sometimes, and this is a lesson for seasoned stylists, sometimes we get comfortable with people that we've seen for a long time and we just assume that it's just the same thing over and over again. But you might decide one day, you know what, I don't think I want that today. I want something different. So it's important to kind of keep those communication lines open with your clients, even if they are new or seasoned. When they sit down in your chair, okay, so what are we doing today? Are we, or however you want to ask it, how's your hair been doing? How's your scalp? Like, are we getting the same thing today, or are we doing something different? Are you feeling a little adventurous? Whatever, however you want to say it. But it's important. The point I'm trying to make is it's important to communicate with your clients on a regular basis, and for sure with new clients, offer a consultation so you can kind of lay it all on the line and everybody knows where they stand and everybody knows what to expect. And that way, most of the time, you will leave happy because there's no room for assumptions, is what I was trying to make. But so, yeah. So that's
I
unfortunate
do
that
agree.
they didn't do that in your case.
Yes. And I feel like consultations are important because I'm looking to you to be the expert. Like, I know how hair is, but I don't know, like, if I'm breaking or if I need some type of treatment that I'm not aware that my hair needs. So if we have that type of conversation and I'm able to get that information, then that better guides my decisions on what I'm going to need for my hair. Because I
Yeah.
think everyone can agree that we all want healthy hair.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's something that you can recommend to me, hey, I think you may need this type of treatment, or let's cut your ends, or let's do this, then that helps me to understand where my hair is and what my hair can use.
Yes. I love it. I agree 100%. That's very true. It just kind of keeps, the client informed. It, like you said, it shows that you, as the expert, know what you're talking about. You can recommend different treatments for the client. And then people feel like you really do care about the results of their hair. And it's not just, a transaction. You're not just sitting in there and it's like, okay, I get my hair done and I pay you and I'm out. Like, they really do feel like you are trying to keep their hair healthy and you really do care about their hair. That there's a thin line between, like, sometimes suggesting things to clients and them feeling as if it's just like another sales pitch, like just like, oh, you're just trying to get some more money. But like, I think if you're consistently doing that, then clients it won't really feel like you're just trying to, like, create this add-on on their service or add more money to their ticket. They really, because it's not like you're just doing it one time. You're always, constantly in tune with what's going on with their hair. And then when you do suggest it, it won't come off like, like a sales pitch kind of. Because I'm always very mindful of that, because I don't like feeling like that sleazy salesman when I'm trying to help clients out with suggestions. But, if it's something that is you're accustomed to doing, I don't think it's going to come as a surprise when you suggest something to the client that is necessary for them to do at that point. So can you tell me about, like, your good experience in the salon? Anything that you feel, well, before I ask you that, what could they have done outside of what we just talked about, which is a consultation, that could have brought more value to that service that you weren't happy about? Like, is there anything that you think they could have done differently?
I think that they could have possibly gave me better value to my experience. And when I say that, when she came in, she wasn't very welcoming. So I already was in a place where I had booked with someone and then someone else ended up doing my hair. And
Yeah.
I knew nothing about the person who ended up doing my hair. So I don't know if you specialize in natural hair. That may have been a place where you were not as comfortable as you possibly would have been. I didn't really know. All I know is that I had an event the next day and I needed my hair done, and I didn't really have time to look for someone else because I had the event the next day. So then I
Yeah.
risked not possibly even liking the style that it came out with, but I just had to go with it because I was so pressed for time. I think one of the things that it's all about communication. I am very big on communication. So had it been communicated to me, hey, I know you booked with this person, but unfortunately she's not
Yeah.
available. This person is going to be doing your hair now. And then she, now doing my hair, had a conversation with me about my hair. I
Yeah.
think it would have been a lot better than it
Yeah,
did.
I agree. I agree. Because then that would have put the decision back into your hands. Like, do I want to go with this lady who I really don't know much about or didn't even do any research on? Or do I just want to find someone else completely? But in your case, you kind of felt, like you really didn't have a choice because you were pressed for time. But I absolutely agree with you. They should have communicated that and at least put the power back in your hands as far as whether you wanted to, continue on with that particular salon. So yeah, I'm sorry you had to go through that. That's simple things, just a simple thing like a phone call could have completely changed the outlook of your service with them. So that's unfortunate on their end. But to on a little brighter note, can you tell me any good experiences that you've had in the salon that you can speak on?
I have had several good experiences. When I originally moved to Atlanta, I had never really, was just transitioning to being natural. I had never really gotten any type of treatment or
That could
cuts
be
or
a really
anything
scary thing for
on my
people too.
hair.
Like that transition, like one texture to the next, because you're not even sure what you're dealing with your hair.
Yes.
You're like, I don't even know how to do this.
Yes. So I took, I knew my hair, I colored my hair. Of course, we know with color, if you're not taking care of the color like you should, is damaging the hair, is breaking the hair. So I definitely had a lot of breakage, a lot of damage, those
Mm,
type things. And, I didn't really know. It was trial and error when it came to
yeah,
that. And then I did meet a stylist who really took the time to explain what was going on with my hair, what needed to be done to my hair to
good.
get it to the healthiest place that it was. And I think that is all. I'm big on the expert giving me advice on
Yeah,
what I need. And
yeah,
everybody is, if you're not, some people get so tied to hair, they never want to cut it. So I think that was one of the places that I was in, is that I felt like I didn't want to cut my hair. How can we save my hair? But ultimately, I ended up having to cut it. And then it was at the place where it was the healthiest it had been in a very long time.
yeah.
So
What?
that resonated with me for years.
Oh, good. I mean, just the different approaches is like very it's just like night and day. The second person that you talked about really took the time to sit and educate you, is what I heard you say. Because it's
Hmm.
important to, like, take everything that we've learned as beauty professionals and then try and educate the client so that they can also implement strategies and practices on their own when they're at home to continue on to what you've already done for them in the salon, because you're only in there, I don't know, once a month, sometimes once every 3 to 4 weeks, maybe, sometimes depending on what you're getting done. And so, like, those times that you're not with your stylist, you got to be able to maintain that style or kind of just do the things that can add on to keeping your hair healthy and so that it can grow and you can get the results that you want long term. But it's like a partnership. Like, you and your stylist have to kind of work together to kind of keep your hair to keep your hair healthy. But that second scenario that you just talked about, they really took the time to educate you, which is so 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 important to the healthy hair journey of the client. And so they took the opportunity to educate you and consult with you, and then ultimately suggested that, based on the damage that you had, that the hair needed to be cut. Because what's the point of holding on to long hair if it's damaged? Like, it's not going to respond right to styles. It's not going to hold a style as well. And so, like, you might as well get rid of those dead ends, that dead weight that's holding holding you down from being fabulous, and then, like, starting from scratch with a healthy head of hair. At which point it'll grow, it'll look beautiful and shiny and all those things. So I'm happy to hear that not all is lost, and there are still people out there that's kind of taking the time to really consult and educate their clients so that they can ultimately be successful in their healthy hair journey.
I like what you said when you said partnership. And I think that that's what leads to the longevity of a client and stylist, is that partnership. Like, we are partnering to get my hair at the healthiest place that it can be. And it's, those conversations, feeling welcome, those things are big. I feel like for anyone that's going into a salon when they're getting, you're getting that experience.
I agree with you. And like not just doing it like as a one-off, but just being consistent with it too. You know what I'm saying? Because like when you're building that partnership, that relationship with that client, like it's if again, like what you said, it is a long-term type of thing. So it might start off as, client stylist relationship, but then sometimes it turns into like a friendship because you really get to know people on an intimate level and they get to know you as well. And so like just having that safe space for them to want to come back, making them feel welcome, making them feel like you really do care, and then building on that relationship, getting to know them, getting to know their lifestyle, their family, because all of that kind of plays into what kind of style, what type of routine that the client might need. Like all of those things kind of play into that, right? And so how do you know that unless you really ask the right questions and then get to know clients on an intimate level? At first it may just be surface, but just still having that level of communication and that consultation really plays a huge part in how you move forward with that person. And as you continue to get to know each other, then you may not always have to go in depth in the conversation, but at least still every now and again bringing that back up. Like, okay, so what are we doing? What have you been up to? So all of those questions, you're pulling out, little things that can help you make a decision or guide your client into doing what's best for them and their hair and their lifestyle. So it's a partnership for sure. It's like a long term, it's kind of like a relationship. You're getting to know the more you get to know each other, the better you can help each other and work together to ultimately make the client happy. And that's how we stay in businesses with happy clients. Like we don't have happy clients, we don't have a business. So in my efforts in starting this podcast is to hopefully just help people to understand how these things kind of go hand in hand. One can't happen without the other. Like we have to understand how important it is to build those relationships with our clients, and therefore create longevity in our business and be successful. And that's really ultimately what you want when you're working for yourself or in a salon. With any salon, the way that you build longevity and success is through client relationships and the story. And the way you make people feel is so important. It really comes down to how people feel when they leave your salon. Are they feeling happy? Are they satisfied? Are they upset? All of that plays into how successful you are in your business. So I appreciate you sharing those two stories with me. Those are really good examples of both extremes. And so last question, well, it's kind of like a two-part question. Would you pay more money for a better experience in the salon industry, and why?
Absolutely. I think that
Without a
everyone
doubt.
pays. Yeah, I think that everyone pays for what they want. So if you're getting a good experience, you have someone that you feel that values you. Um, it's all about the experience. What brings people back is the good experience. If the experience anywhere, if anything, any industry that we go in, if the experience is bad, you're not going to go back and do it again. But
Right.
if something gives you a reason to want to come back to them, no matter what the cost is, that's the service that you want. So you don't care about the price of it because that's something that you want. So I would absolutely pay more to go to a salon where I know that I'm going to come out with the best experience ever.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I feel like it's all about the experience that always makes people come back, and it doesn't matter where it is.
Yeah.
It's all about that great experience that they are wanting.
Yeah. And then when you have a good experience, like you want to tell other people about it. So like you're super excited about telling someone, about a place you visited that was just amazing and you had the best time and all this and that. Like you're quick to just, talk about it. And then same thing with a bad experience. A bad experience. When you have a bad experience, you're gonna tell people that don't go over there. They don't know how to treat you, or they don't do this, or they don't do that. So it's important as for your business, because word of mouth, good or bad, can travels fast. And so,
Mm-hmm.
you want, when people talk about you when you're not around, you want them to talk about you in a positive way as opposed to in a negative way. So you have to approach it from that perspective. Like, what how do I want people to perceive my business? How do I want them to talk about my business? How do I want them to share my business? Do I want it to be a positive thing or a negative thing? And so if you approach it with that in mind in the back of your head, and I'm not saying to go out of your character to kind of overdo it, because people will sense that if you're not genuine, right? Like, be
Mm-hmm.
genuine. We're in the service industry. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how else to say it. Like, you're in the service industry. So you are serving people. And so serve them with pride and be kind and make them feel good. And you already have the talent, because that's part of the reason why you got into this business, because you love doing what you do. But then it's also a people part of it that cannot be forgotten. You can't just be a good hairstylist and not be good with people, because they go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. And at the end of the day, you may do a great job with their hair, but if you had a nasty attitude and they did not feel welcome, then they may not come back. Or if they do, it's just, you're going to be just tolerated, and they won't tell other people about you. And so, it's just, you kind of get out of it what you put in. And so it's important to just remember to stay focused on the client and the experience, and creating an amazing experience for people so that they feel good when they leave and they look good when they leave, and they will just spread the word of how amazing you are. And next thing you know, you're so booked and busy, you're turning business away. Like, I can speak to that. I can speak to that 100%, because that's what happened with me and my business. And I just really saw that the client experience portion or customer service in the beauty industry was just kind of headed in a downward trend. And some of the stories I was hearing was just like insane. And I'm like, I don't know how these people stay in business, especially those that are working for themselves, with that type of, those type of negative, stories that I was hearing. And so it was important for me to kind of just do my part by having the conversations. And I just didn't see a way to go about it without including the client in the conversation. So I just really appreciate you for taking the time to give us your perspective, give us your experiences in the industry. And hopefully out of these conversations, someone can learn something, someone can get something out of it, and understand that what clients truly and really want is a good experience and feeling valued and welcomed. And, and hopefully that can then turn into more sales for them. I really do want to just say thank you to you for taking the time to share your story. I appreciate you so much. I know you've got a busy day, so I'm not going to hold you up too long, but I just wanted to tell you thank you, thank you, thank you.